Hi, and welcome to the logistics video for LHA 1826, Comparative Higher Education. My name is Dr. Grace Cram-Stevenson, and this is the logistics video for section 0101, so the Monday night section. If you are in the Thursday night section, I suggest you find the alternate video on my YouTube channel, which will help you understand what you need for your section of the course. So today we're going to talk about course logistics. I want you to have everything you need so that you can be successful in this very rapid compressed course. So the first thing you need to know is that we are meeting on Mondays. In Acorn, it's listed as Monday and Wednesday, but I provide you with asynchronous work, so you don't need to meet on Zoom for Wednesday. We are running from May 6th, which is our first class, to June 17th. And that's because May 20th is a holiday here in Ontario, and there are no classes that day. This is a synchronous class, so you're expected to come on Mondays at 6 p.m. You need to have a working camera and a working microphone, and you need to have a Zoom account. And if you've taken a course with me before, you're going to know that I like to give students lots of flexibility, and sometimes I'll make my Zoom classes optional and let them do asynchronous work. So that does not work for a compressed class. My classes are mandatory for this. There are 6 weeks, and you need to be at all of them. So the answer is yes. They're mandatory. Please come. So what is a compressed course? For some of you, this will be your first compressed course at the University of Toronto here in the spring semester. So the first thing you need to know is that we have 6 weeks of class and 2 weeks of paper writing. So how does this compare to a full semester course? Well, in a full semester course, you have usually 12 weeks of class and between 2 and 3 weeks of paper writing. So we literally have half the time to do the same amount of work. And it's going to sort of feel like you might have a deadline every week. And I think that's because you do have a deadline every week. So it's fast, and you need to know if this is going to fit into your professional life, your personal life. So look through the syllabus, look at the requirements I'm asking of you. And if this is not the time for you to take a course, wait till September. I will, however, be offering opportunities to get your work done in class. For instance, our group work, I'll allow for an extra 45 minutes at the end of each class for groups to meet so that we can keep the momentum rolling and get the work done. So what's our class schedule going to be like each week? We will meet at 6 p.m. And for the first 30 minutes, we are going to dive into the readings. This is a really interesting course because of the historic texts and sort of the big debates about comparative education that we tackle. And so you're going to have questions. And I do expect you to come with questions each week for that first 30-minute large group discussion on the readings. If we have a guest speaker, they'll often come as well and help to answer questions. And then we'll break out for the next 30 minutes into 2 roundtable sections. And this is where you get to present one of your learning activities to a small group. And these will be related to a reading. We will then have a break, and then we'll spend the last 45 minutes in group time. There is one caveat. If a whole group decides that they'd really like to meet at a different time, they can do that. They just need to email me to make sure that I know that meeting is happening at some other point. So you might be worried that you normally have 3 readings in a class in a full semester, and I might be giving you 6. Well, I've tried that, and it really didn't work well. We all kind of panicked. And so I'm giving you 4 readings each week, and I do expect you to complete these and to come prepared with some questions, some ideas, some thoughts on them. And I am going to give you options. So each week there'll be sort of 2 lists for different topics, and you need to pick a certain amount from each list to make sure that you're covering some of the core pieces. And then, in response to one of those readings, you are going to do a learning activity. And this is part of a learning portfolio that you can see the details of in the assignments tab on Quirkus. Based on that learning activity, we will then have a roundtable discussion. You'll get to host a discussion group for your peers based on your learning activity. So what type of assessment do I have going through this class? Well, these roundtable presentations are just a completion grade. If you show up and do your roundtable presentation, you get 5%. Your learning portfolio, the first part will be 10%. I ask you to hand in the first slides to me so that I can see that you're on the right track. And if there's any concerns about work quality, you get a second chance to do it right away. And then you will have a paper proposal. And this allows us to get your paper ideas generated quickly and get some feedback on the direction you'd like to go. The group presentation, which is actually a video lecture presentation, I've had people do all kinds of things, from the news to all kinds of great ideas. But this presentation will be due on June the 9th. And this is so your peers can actually watch it and respond to it for their learning activities for the last week. Then your final learning portfolio is due on June 16th, and your final paper is due on June 23rd. So the final paper, this is a fast class. We have to start generating ideas and move in one direction for your final paper pretty quickly. So we do have the paper proposal that allows you to get some ideas down on paper early. But I also really want to encourage you to book some one-to-one time with me. Think of this almost like an independent reading course where together you and I are going to really get you a topic that engages you. I want it to be something that motivates you and gets you excited about comparative higher ed. Now, if you've taken a class with me before, you know that I don't like extensions. When I first started teaching, I would set a deadline. Everyone would ask for extensions, and I would panic because I have to get my marks in. And then the next year, I'd set it, a week earlier. And then they all still ask for extensions, but they'd get it done for that original deadline. And it shows me, you know what? Students can get their work done. So please do not ask for an extension. Please get your work done by the 23rd. However, if you are having a life crisis, I don't deduct marks if your work is late, but I do ask that you ask me for an extension at least a week ahead of time so that I know you are working on it and that you could see things building up or piling up. And I should explain, I'm not trying to catch anyone with assessment. I really want you to get excited about a topic in higher education, something you could study all over the world, whether it's student protesting or right-wing conservative institutions or religious movements in the 13th century. Get excited. What have you been curious about in your program so far that you haven't seen or learned about around the world? If your quality of assignments is not what I was hoping for, I will give you a second chance. This isn't necessarily possible for the final paper, but for everything leading up to that, we can have chances to redo it, to work on it and refine it. So please don't worry. I want you to take some risks. I want you to get excited about your assessment and to make this a paper that you're really glad you wrote. Now, at this point, if I were you, I would have some questions. So if you have logistical questions about the course, maybe a broken link, things that I have inconsistencies between the syllabus and online, please put these in the Quarkus discussion board under questions about the course. If you have personal questions, illnesses, extensions, just some nervousness about the class, please email me directly and we can set up a time to talk about that. One-to-one consultations are really important to me. I want you to feel like you're getting coached through this whole class. So contact me anytime. So what do you need to do now before our first class on Monday, May the 6th? First, go to Quarkus. Get yourself logged in, visit the modules section. The entire course is built around the modules section. Go to the introduction module, read through the syllabus, read through all the assignments, make sure you understand them so that when we discuss them in that first class, you have all or any questions answered. There are 2 videos to watch before our first class. First is an introduction to the subject by me, and then an overview by Dr. Hayhoe, who founded this course, on why they started this course when they did. There's an article for you to read by myself and Shakina Rajendram, who's up in CTL at OISE, and I want you to read this article as a really interesting example of comparative higher education in a modern context. Then you'll complete the intro form so that I have all the information I need from you and get to know you better. And then you're going to book a one-to-one meeting with me so we can begin to brainstorm early on some of your learning goals and your paper topics. And then, of course, you need to sign up for one roundtable presentation during this semester. So start brainstorming those final ideas for the paper. Don't worry about finalizing it right now. Just get a whole bunch of fun ideas on paper, and we'll see what happens as we go into the first class. I'm really looking forward to meeting each of you. Keep in touch, and I'll see you in class.